All right, here you see the new, to me, F550. It's a 2006 model. It's got the aluminum polished wheels on it. Independent front suspension. Not sure what the shocks are. I think I'm going to get some Bilsteins in there. And then the brakes are 14.5 inch. They're a much larger brake. It's got street tires, but it's got very good deep tread on it. Well, actually, these are kind of like a street off-road. They do have an aggressive tread pattern in there. It's only got the one step on it. I like the full-length step. Much easier for Kelly to use it. And here we have the rear tires, the same thing. The only trick with this thing is that it does not have a spare tire, so I'm going to have to figure out what to do for a spare tire on it. But if you look here, it's a great big 40-gallon rear mount fuel tank. And that fuel tank is where the spare tire would go. So another thing is that you see here, this here has the straight frame on it. So it's got a wider, stronger frame. It's a commercial type frame. Now this here's kind of a cool thing with the tailgate. You can slide this down or pull it up and then lift this. Pull that out. And there you go. You got to step up into the gate, which that's pretty cool. I like that. I do have to get a replacement trim piece for that side. It's on the right, but not the left. So it's probably a ridiculous amount of money to get a replacement for it. We'll see. So that slides back in pretty easily. This comes back down. And we shut the gate. You can see it has a seat in here, or a receiver plate for, I suppose you could put a fifth wheel in there, but I believe it's for one of those peg hitches. Previous owner may have been pulling horse trailers or something like that, is what I was told. And if you see, the whole body is pretty nice and straight, but anyway, if you come over here and look, here is a 6-pin plug, and over here is where they used to have a 7-pin plug. So either of these pin plug locations works out for the truck camper. So I'm gonna have to look for that. And then another handy thing is, if you look in here, you can see the frame mount for the torque lift camper tie downs are still there. So that's going to be good. All I have to do is get the arm that comes out and into this area here. Okay. And I got to get a sliding glass rear window so that I can utilize the pass-through into the truck camper. The cats will be very happy to have that. So then also it's a little bit longer than the regular truck frame bed connection here. So it has about a 3-inch little thing here that fills the gap between the bed and the cab. And so it's just sheet metal wrapped around here. I had a friend of mine that went through the Canadian border, and they took very big interest into what is this. And the guy said, well, look at it. It's just some sheet metal wrapped around. And they looked around and, oh, okay. Yeah, you can see way over there that it just wraps around and it's completely open. So anyway, after they figured it out, they let him go through the border, okay. So here is the interior, and well, it's in nice shape. Look at that. And it's exactly what I want. Vinyl seats, vinyl floors. I just don't need cloth because this is a going to be used for taking out the truck camper. And it's going to be around a lot of mud and everything, and I don't need stuff that holds dirt. Vinyl just sweeps and washes right out. So here we have some kind of a Sony double-din stereo. I haven't checked into that yet. I have to figure out how to use it. You've got the 4 auxiliary switches, and then right here the plus minus. That's a trailer brake, and you can manually increase it by squeezing these two together. You can manually apply brake. Over there on the other side is my bottle of fuel conditioner. Increases the lubricity of the fuel because this engine is an older 6-liter diesel, so it's from the time before ULSD, ultra low sulfur diesel fuel. So here's another thing that's interesting too, is there's the old F250, but you can see that the F250 is a couple of inches taller than the 550 is. Just a little bit higher off the ground, and that's because I've got these heavy front and rear springs that give it a 4-inch lift. So from the ground up to the top of a wheel well is 42 inches, and I haven't measured these ones here yet, but clearly you can tell that they are not at the same height. So here's the old F250 interior. You know, it's been used. We got the cloth seats. The cloth, you know, it's got some stains in it. And then also it's worn. I have to get a new seat cover for it. There's my economy gauge. That was kind of interesting to watch. And then, so here's the inside. And we got some gauges here. There's a pyrometer, transmission temperature. Then down here I'm going to get a dual gauge that measures coolant temperature and oil temperature, and it's kind of redundant because I already have it over here, but these are like idiot gauges, and to have a real analog gauge would be kind of nice. I'll think about it, what I really need there. So you can see there the mileage is 70, what was that? Yeah, 70,675 miles, I think it is. So very low mileage for a 2006. And the interior is just what I want. I don't want carpet, because carpet, you'll track mud into that. And this is a vinyl interior, vinyl seats. Everything is in very good condition. So I need to, this seat is going to be pulled out, and I'm going to replace it with the shelving system that I made for the other truck, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But yeah, anyway, very nice. I really like this truck. So let's run over here and take a quick gander at the F250. It has been a very good, faithful truck for many, many moons. All right. So this is the F250. The seats interior are a little bit hammered here, cloth seats, worn out. So I just get a new seat and cover for that. It's like $300. Here's a scanner. This one is a Innova 5610 version 2, and it's a pretty good scanner. Seems to be able to pull a lot of detail out of the engine. It's not really a pro one, but it does get good information. $350 for it. Here is my econo gauge. also known as a vacuum gauge. And you can see here at idle it's blue. If you're in the green range, you're getting good mileage, fair mileage in the orange, and poor mileage in the red. And yellow is if you're decelerating, going down a hill or something. But yeah, generally this thing is right between orange and red. And if you tap the gas at all, it goes into the red. So it's not very promising as far as mileage goes. But the engine runs like a top. So here is the shelving system I made. So the bottom part, I put tools and other stuff under there. This part here, right now it's got tools because I haven't cleaned it out since I put in the new engine. And so stuff is still here, but over in here is a lift out panel so that I can reach down in the center and get things out from under there. So here's the camper here, and yeah, it's not in the cleanest shape right now. It's all kind of in transition, getting ready to move it from this truck to the new truck. So I got a lot of work ahead of me to do that. Okay. So let's start up this truck. Hasn't run for a couple days. And you can see here it's nice little engine. It sounds really good, very smooth, no knocks or anything. I've already got a little pressure build up in here. The gauge on this is about 3 or 4 pounds, and as it gets hotter, it'll get higher. So this truck, it's had a lot of work done to it, and yeah, I don't know, it's just not big enough to carry a camper this size, 4,000 pounds basically. And the F550 will easily be able to handle that. So here is the 550, and we have Napa dual batteries in here. There's the overflow tank, and so we got our fuse box there, brakes, somewhere is a vacuum pump, air cleaner, turbocharger over there, turbocharger, fresh air comes in, and then over on the back side there is where the exhaust spins up the turbocharger, and then this pipe here comes out and over into this here, which is the intercooler, and then from there it comes back into this pipe and into the intake manifold. So it's a pretty good intake system. It's not at all atmosphere or altitude affected because of the turbocharger. And this here is a water filter system, and what this does is it prevents over time your engine rusts and flakes and bits of sand from the casting process break loose, and they slowly clog up the oil cooler, which has coolant and oil crisscrossing through it. And so what happens is coolant with rust and the debris slowly fills up the cooling side of your oil cooler, and then you run into overheating problems and hot oil because it's not getting cooled, and then you start damaging all the O-rings and seals and other stuff because the engine's running too hot. So what we have here is there's a little filter in here, and to change the filter you close these valves off, change the filter, and then open the valves back up. You might have to add a tiny bit of antifreeze to make up the difference. And so here's another thing that's really nice. It's got a 320 amp alternator on it, so that's going to be really good for the camper and powering that. And what else? Yeah, the dealer, they just put on new hoses for this, and I'm not sure what other things that they addressed are. They didn't really give me a list of anything. But let me go start this up for you. You can kind of hear this engine. You see we're not really climbing in pressure yet. The hose is getting a little tighter. So let's go light this up. Okay, so we got the key over here. Oop, yeah, that's right, key. Put it in, turn the key. Okay, so and you see right here the squiggly there. That is your glow plugs, and now they are hot enough to start. So let's go. And there you go, starts right up. Sounds real good. What I'm doing with this thing is I've got some fuel additive, Hot Shots Secret, Everyday Diesel Treatment 6-in-1 Fuel Booster. It's got a cetane boost, and it can increase economy by 5.1%. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. But you add about 2 ounces per 40 gallons for regular fill. And or 4 ounces for the 40-gallon tank, and I just put in almost 40 gallons. So anyway, here you've got your turbo boost. Here's your coolant temperature. Here's your oil temperature. Here's your oil pressure, and there's the fuel tank there. Then this is a 5-speed, and it's pretty cool. It has a button on the shifter here, and you see it has a tow haul. And when you're in the tow haul mode, it has the turbocharger act kind of like a compression brake, and so it's interesting. You really hear the transmission sound like a jet engine when you have it in that mode. So anyway, let us walk up front here. So there you go. It's really pretty smooth for a diesel, kind of loud, but that is all diesels. Got just a little bit of a boost in revolutions there. Yeah, nothing's getting hot. So it'll take a few minutes to warm up. And this thing here is loud enough that even though this engine here is running, you can't hear it. So I'm going to go shut this one off now. Let me hop over here and lock the door. Okay. And maybe I'll just grab this gauge for a minute. Alright, let's shut the hood and take it for a quick drive. So here you can hear the sound of the exhaust. So it's very clean. I think I may have to clean or replace the catalytic converter, because the exhaust kind of sounds a bit like a jet. You're hearing a steady streaming flow out of it. Let me turn this light off. Okay, so you hear a steady flow out of the exhaust, and I'm not thinking that is the normal way that should be. Let's see, how does this work? Oh, it's not gonna play nicely with me at all, is it? Stupid camera. Okay. So let's slip our belt on. Okay. All right. Let's see, maybe this will work a little bit better. If I can get in here. Stupid camera. Hey, I think that might work. That's not too bad. Alright. Do one more adjustment there. Alright. So, let's go on out of here real quick. I've got the engine running, started, so you want to bring it up to temperature, drive it around for a little bit, and then come back and shut it off. Okay. So we're just kind of driving up the road here real quick and just run around, but you know, take a listen to the sound of the engine here. Very nice. Wish people would park a little bit better. I have to be careful driving up passenger street or residential streets, because I have the wide dualies now. And so there's a chance that you can hit those. Okay. See all the cherry trees are blossoming right now. Okay. So yeah, anyway, I'm really happy with it. It drives like a champ. Super acceleration in it. Good oil pressure. You can see the oil pressure here. The temperatures are coming up. The water or oil temperature is lower than the coolant temperature. Okay, so let's just a little bit on the pedal, a little bit of throttle, not a lot. And if I punch this thing, it really starts moving. So I just got to wait for a traffic light here for a moment. I'm going to take a right turn up here. But I want to do it from this lane because it's a longer truck with a wider wheelbase, and it's a tight road up here, so I don't want any problems. Okay, and turning. Okay. So you can hear the engine purring along here. As far as the diesel go, it's quieter than my brother's 7.3 Power Stroke. He's got a 96, the old square style truck. Very nice black truck, very, very sought after these days. I know somebody just spent a ridiculous amount of money on a red one and is having all sorts of mechanical engine issues with it. Hopefully they'll get squared away without draining the bank account. Somehow I don't think he has money problems though. So let's take a right turn here. We're going to just make the light. So yeah, anyway, I am really enjoying this. It drives so nicely. The 19-inch wheels, tires, they just go over the bumps so much more smoothly than the 16s. I wouldn't think it would be so much of a difference, but it is. And the larger brake rotors, they really slow you down. So I'll be anxious to see how they respond when I have the truck camper on, because the truck camper, that's about 4,000 pounds, and the F250 does handle it well. I've got metallic brake pads in the F250, and so it does do a pretty good job of braking. But the rotors in that, they're 13-inch, so not as big. Okay. And another thing that's nice about this truck is the front steering and stuff. It will turn tighter than most of the other trucks will. In fact, I think it does actually turn tighter than all of the other trucks, including the 250 and 350. So let me switch into the tow haul mode, and you'll be able to hear what I mean about the... So you can hear the turbocharger engaging when you're slowing down. Let me give it a little speed here and show you. So you can really hear the transmission working to control the speed of the truck. So let me go back to the regular mode now. And that's another thing it does too. In the tow haul mode, I guess it slips into gear rather than jamming into gear. And so whatever the purpose, I guess that they have figured out that helps the transmission manage the load and last longer. Old Corvette. It's funny, the Corvette is still very modern looking, but it's still an old Corvette compared to the new ones. A mid-engine Corvette. Okay. So as you can see, the road gets tight here because of the traffic parking on both sides and narrowness. Okay, so we are back. Okay, so we'll just idle it for a minute here. Walk around and take a listen to that exhaust again. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that catalytic converter is plugged up. So I'm going to have to take a look at that. Okay, well, that concludes the tour of the truck. I hope you like it as much as I do. I haven't had a chance to mess around with my radio yet. Sony double dim. Then I'm going to run the scanner on it and see what kind of stuff might be buried in there. So, okay, I will see you guys on the next video. Later.